All right, guys, we are finally done. Sorry it's been so long since an upload, but as you can see, the boxes are in, the welder's on, everything is finished. So I hope you enjoy this last part of the build in the series, and I appreciate all of the support and the interest in these beds. And without further ado, here is, to get it up to date. Then we'll come back and we'll go over everything and a full walk around. Alright guys, so this is sort of the setup that's going on this truck. So under there you see on both sides, that is where the oxygen tank is going to go. This is sort of just on here right now. There's going to get 2 holes that are drilled in each one. That's to hold this top plate down. So if he wants to remove this, instead of trying to remove with the clamps, he can just remove this first and then unbolt the clamps for the oxygen bottle, pull that out. Now, the biggest thing I wanted to do was make an easy access for him to get into, to turn on the bottle. If he goes a long way and he doesn't want the bottle to stay on or something like that, or he only wants one bottle on, you can actually, there's a little latch that goes in that hole, and then you'll be able to pull that. That'll be underneath there. And when this is all bolted down, it'll actually create the tension down on the on there and keep everything locked down. Then you just open that up, pull it off. You can get down there to your bottle, turn it on, and then you're good to go. The acetylene bottles will be right here, and then we have the remote mount setup. So that is where this is going to go. And obviously, if you're interested in getting a remote gauge holder, we can do 1, we can do 2, we can do 3, we can do multiple, make them side by side, make them completely custom. So you can give us a shout on that. And then we have our little Hoosier type bar. It's not really a Hoosier bar, it's sort of like an extension swing out oxygen setup. So this will be bolted down to there, this will be bolted down to there, and then the welder will go right in front of all this and right on the side of there. And then I'll have his oxy hoses around this. This extends out. There's a bolt-on cap on that, so that if he has to get this out of the way for any reason, he can just unbolt it, slide it all the way off, and then it's off the truck, just leaving that. But this swings around and then it pulls out, which extends out past the back of the bed. Other than that, I mean, you can really see how this is set up. I tried to think as much as possible how to fit everything into a small profile such as this. And this is what we sort of came up with. Now, this box is rated for 1,200 pounds. And once this is all mounted and sealed, we can slide the drawer in, and then that will be done. And like I said, we just got to drill the 2 holes on each of those, weld on the little piece that goes on the bottom of there. And then down here, you sort of have a little pocket to do whatever you need to. Throw some stuff back here, you don't have to worry about it, you know, sliding out of the back of the bed. And then obviously if you're putting any steel or anything heavy that's going to slide, we have these little protectors that are bolted down, and then you'll be able to just go like that, take it off, get your stuff, and then put it back on, and it'll be like a slam latch where it slams down and locks. So cool little setup. We did what we could on this, and definitely a cool design. know you guys already seen the toolboxes, but I just like these things so freaking much. These are top-notch boxes. You can customize them to any color, any size, and they just make everything that much easier to organize in any truck, trailer, or shop if you end up doing some type of workbenches with these. And yes, they can make pretty much anything, and you can make it into any type of setup you want. Everything's working now. Got all the interior lights hooked up in here, you know, left and right, and then we got the floodlights. If you do have the urge to get these floodlights, I highly recommend. They are buyer's floodlights, and they are on the expensive side, but they are definitely worth every penny. The only thing that I would say is make sure you grab some rubber impregnated washers for the tops of those bolts, because they will leak. They don't leak a lot, but they drip, so they leak over time. Same thing with this. We got the light up in there, and that all works. We have our emergency Schrader valve in case the air system goes bad or something, or you want to just bleed the entire system out. And we got our fill for def and fuel. We have our rigging holder on each side. We just gave him two, one for each side, so he can hang all of his rigging and whatever else. This is his extra welding reel leads and extra oxyacetylene hose. So we have his name, company name. You can see we have the Miller 330 EFI. This has a remote, so you can actually go, say you're up on a crusher or a piece of equipment or something, you can, without getting down, you can adjust everything. It's pretty cool. We have our, you know, Hoosier type, you know, setup. Obviously it's not a Hoosier bar, but it is pretty close to it. I tried to mimic as much as I can with this space allotted and how everything needed to be set up. But everything, this on pins pulls out, and then that on pins, and then that swivels around. We have enough hose for it to come all the way out. It's going through a little throughway right there with a rubber hose just to protect it from getting you know, rubbed on the steel and the rough surface. And then up here, let me get up there for a second. Up here we got our plates. These are sort of acting as walkways, but this is where the oxygen bottles will go on each side. So what you're going to do is obviously unbolt that. That's the clamp underneath there, and then you unbolt these. You can get these off. Now, if you have oxygen bottles, you know, if it was under something like this, it would be a pain to try and turn on and turn off all the time. So what we did, and as you can see, we added our little fancy logo on it. We just have little doors that come off, and then they slam down. These are little marine latches. They worked out perfect, and it gives us the advantage of opening that up, and then you can turn your oxy and your acetylene all on, and you don't have to worry about taking this all off and, you know, doing all that stuff. So we have a bunch of hoses going to our remote mount. As you've seen, these will all have hoses that are connected. Shouldn't have to change these but once, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. All depends on, you know, how much you use in that sense, but I don't see him changing it more than at least once a month, if that's, you know, if he's really using it. But he still has to put on the quick connects and all the other connections. I'll show you the welding lead holder. Let me get back down. So this is the welding lead holder. He has a striker down here. There's some room on the side and compartments that I made so that if he does want to put the little bottles, sealed bottles, he can put his 60, 70, whatever he uses on there. And then these slide out. So let me try and... So that slides out. You take this off first. There's a pin down here, and on pins you can twist this, and then you'll be able to get to this. So pretty much vice versa. You can also just open this up all the way. I made it so that it hits the other hinge and acts as a stop, so you're not hitting the paint, you're not hitting the fender, and you know, just everything is really thought out. But that slides in and then it locks. So, and then the same thing on this side. We got our boxes on the front and the mid. We got all of our lights on the bottom, our aluminum mud flaps. Everything is tidied up underneath. Our nice little workbench and, you know, sort of long bar and material box in there. And yeah, this thing came out really sick and definitely gives the name Wicked on this. It's been a long journey, but I'm sure we'll be coming back for more. Possibly more lights, maybe some lights up in the wheel wells, maybe some lights down the side, or maybe a whole new vehicle. Who knows? Depends on how his business grows, and from the sounds of it, it's going to be growing pretty fast. So we're probably going to be doing more for him, and you'll probably see more builds developing for this company. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all of the views, support, shares, comments, likes, everything. It's been one hell of a journey. And with that being said, make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more of these builds, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.